Well, good morning, everybody. What we're trying to help teach people about is where we get our water from, how we monitor it, why we should conserve. In the wintertime, how do we gauge how much water we think we're going to have? How the beetle kill and fires affect our watershed, and how we essentially bring tap water to your homes and businesses. A watershed is all of the land that catches water and sheds it into one particular water source, whether that's a river or a lake.
Fort Collins Utilities gets its water from two main sources, the Colorado Big Thompson or CBT project, which includes Horsetooth Reservoir, and the Poudre River watershed. And we're lucky to have some of the cleanest drinking water in the country, largely because of this watershed.
And we're gonna head up this red line here on our watershed map. We're gonna go through Poudre Park. This is the burn area right through there. We're gonna go through Rustic and Kinnickinnick, and then head down here to Cameron Pass.
Are there any historians on the bus today? Oh, that's good. I can't tell you anything. So. This was the first waterworks, 1882 to 1916. And it only took them 3 years to build that and run a pipe down into Fort Collins. And that worked real well for a few years. And then we had a big typhoid outbreak, caused a lot of heartache. They decided that they would go upstream from the original waterworks up into Poudre Canyon, about approximately 8 miles. It's now called Gateway Park, and they would build their intake structure there and a filter plant. There's really no large mining operations in Poudre Canyon. Pristine waters for people at that time to go to the trouble to do what they did for us, because without water, you don't have a town. Anyway, as we start up the canyon, you can look to the left especially, you'll see some remains of the fire.
The High Park fire totally engulfed 259 structures across Risk Canyon, Poudre Canyon, and also up into Glacier View. What the experts are calling the behavior of this fire is it was a mass area ignition. In talking with some of the homeowners that were there, they said what was strange is they were outside, they at first were seeing stars, and then everything went black, and then everything just went poof. And they had really embers raining down on them as they were evacuating, packing their cars and driving out. Ridge tops were burning very hot, very fast.
High-intensity fires remove the sponge of the watershed. In a normal watershed, most of the water moves slowly and sinks into the ground. High-intensity fires remove the top layer of the soil surface that acts as that sponge. So now water moves fast. The faster water can move over the landscape, the more energy it has. The more energy it has, the more stuff it can rip off the slopes.
The material that moves into the river poses particular concern for water treatment. Makes it difficult to treat that water, to filter out some of those sediments. We've installed some early warning water quality monitoring systems to ensure that we have a heads-up warning of that water quality that's coming into the plant to be treated for drinking water.
On the left here is Joe Wright Reservoir, and that is all intertwined with the Michigan Ditch that Clyde's going to talk about up here at Cameron Pass.
This is the Michigan Ditch, folks. It's 6 miles long, so the upper 3 miles has been piped, the lower 3 miles is an open ditch. It was built in the late 1800s. How would you like to be sitting downtown in a coffee shop and some guy comes up and says, "I've got a job for you. We're going to build an irrigation ditch that transfers water from one drainage into another drainage. It's going to take us 23 years to complete the 6 miles. And oh, by the way, you have to walk to get there." Things must have been pretty tough for somebody to go, "Oh, I'll do that." We come up the 1st of April, normally right where you're standing. There's, if we're lucky, 3 to 4 feet of snow. 3 years ago, we had record-breaking snows. You'd all be covered up. Back in the old days, they had to take the snow out of the ditch too to have some place for the water to run, and they just got in a line, and one guy would take a shovel and step ahead, and the next guy would go behind him and go a little deeper. It only takes 2 of us now with the equipment we have. And when the water starts running is all dependent upon Mother Nature. It's amazing what a little bit of sunshine can do to what we call ripe snow, snow that's getting ready to melt.
Some years we have a lot of water, and in some years we have very little water. So what we're trying to accomplish on the water conservation side is to make sure that on those years we have limited water resources that we're already set up for us to use less. We're continually chipping away, giving rebates, doing programs, trying to get people involved and enthusiastic about saving water.
We're trying to build Halligan Reservoir. It's located on the North Fork of the Poudre. It's a 102-year-old dam, and what we're proposing to do is to increase the size.
The water that we save through conservation, we want to store it for whenever we need it.
Water is the lifeblood of Fort Collins. Without it, we can't support growth. We can't have the industry that we have.
The water quality, despite some of these storm events, has remained safe to drink, high quality, and good tasting as our customers expect.